the infrastructure, the technology has not skipped a beat throughout this entire crisis. In fact, the hash rate, Bitcoin's hash rate is at an all-time high, and that is a real indication of the security of the network. On Ethereum, we're seeing the total value staked at 24 billion. That is an all-time high. So we think the infrastructure is working beautifully. As far as Coinbase, this is an onshore regulated company and wanting to help shape regulations. Brian Armstrong, the CEO, and Alicia, CFO, have been leaning into what's going on right now and saying, okay, regulators, we need more clarity in order to protect investors. Those who wanted to get involved with certain types of crypto were forced offshore, and look at what's happened. So I think that Coinbase is going to come out here looking very, very strong. It just lost a very big competitor in FTX. I think many people say, we don't know what we don't know. So what we do is we step back, put a little perspective into the situation here. And what do we have? So the entire crypto asset ecosystem is an $800 billion ecosystem. Apple is 3 times larger in terms of market cap. So that's some perspective. Many people are saying, well, okay, is this another Lehman? Could this be, could we see the domino effect here? I've just given you one reason why. The banking system back in 08, 09, trillions and trillions of dollars, and it was the global banking system. Right now, we have, it seems, from FTX, $5 to $10 billion in creditors. As FTX has filed bankruptcy, they will be making claims. If you look at Lehman, that was $1.2 trillion in claims. So again, just trying to put perspective, this is fraud. This is Madoff. Madoff was $64 billion in claims. Again, FTX, 5 to 10 billion. Now, I know that crypto assets are, they attract a lot of attention. This is, the 3 revolutions we talk about all the time, a new monetary system in terms of the first global private, meaning not government controlled, digital, rules-based monetary system. That's Bitcoin, a very big idea. DeFi is a very big idea. And while that has been thrown into question in terms of, shifting from one exchange to another, we've had a lot of shifting around. But I think DeFi, in terms of taking the middlemen out of financial services and making the ecosystem much more transparent with much less counterparty risk, is going to take off. It will continue to move forward, we believe. We always look for the whale in a situation like this. And if there was a whale out there, it was FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, king of the hill. So I think we found the whale. And I'm sure there's going to be more fallout, but we see how big the whale is. And yes, a lot of people have lost a lot of money around the crypto asset ecosystem losing value here. But if we're right on the underlying technology and the underlying roles that Bitcoin and Ether, Ethereum are going to play in this new world, then I think we're going to recover pretty quickly. My team and I had a Zoom with Sam before that conference. I think they wanted to have us represented at the conference. And so I did give a presentation there, or I was on a panel. But other than that one phone call, just to set up, I have never talked to him. And, he, by the end of the phone call, seemed to be distracted by whatever else he was doing. So that was my one exposure to him. And, I think the thing that is shocking is how many people were very close to him. And one would have presumed, looked at all of the documents and got a sense of the books. The fact that so many people were completely fooled is quite shocking. And I think he had this aura around him or something that caused people to ask fewer questions than might otherwise have been the case. It's very hard to understand. The grayscale investment trusts are the most valuable part of that company right now. And they're cash cows. They're revenue generating. We do not think, we think they're going to try and hold on to that, if nothing else. We're looking at a 41% discount of this trust relative to Bitcoin today. And so we actually think there's a lot of upside. Now, one of the things that we know that Grayscale and Michael Sonnensheim at Grayscale wanted was to convert this trust into an ETF.
Right.
I think what's happened with the fallout here might increase the probability that a Bitcoin ETF will be approved. I'm not saying immediately, but we know that, and even the newest SEC commissioner, Jaime Lizarraga, I think is his name, has come out and said, we need as regulators to focus on decentralization and transparency. What is the most decentralized and transparent crypto asset in the world? It is Bitcoin. And yet, retail investors do not have easy access through a liquid asset like an ETF. Which honestly I don't understand, given that they approved a Bitcoin futures
Right.
fund. So I think it might increase the odds. We shall see. We have to own securities
Okay.
in ETFs, so it is one of the few securities we can buy. And yes, it's at a very big discount. So it is more attractive. Bitcoin, if they were to even liquidate it, we've got such a big discount relative to Bitcoin that, again, we don't think they're going to. This is the most valuable property. I think they're going to hang on to it. And I think over time the discount will close. Don't know if it's because of a conversion to a Bitcoin ETF. I'm sure the regulators will take a very close look at DCG and the Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust. But we do know this is a grantor trust, highly regulated, highly regulated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had to do our homework on it. And we know that all of the Bitcoin behind GBTC is in cold storage at Coinbase, and Coinbase has confirmed this. We feel quite comfortable with it here. We also own Square, and it is interesting that Jack Dorsey has chosen the most transparent, most decentralized crypto asset to center Block's crypto exposure to. And I realize he's trying to, from a developer community point of view, leave them on their own. But we do think Bitcoin, and you can see through the behavior of the infrastructure, hasn't skipped a beat. Not one beat, more secure than it was yesterday, the day before, and the day before. So I have a feeling this is going to elevate Bitcoin in the eyes of not only the crypto world, but the investment world at large. And I have a feeling it's going to have more running room through the rest of the world. I think this is the way that this is Block's go-to-market to get into the rest of the world. And we think they're going to be very successful. Bitcoin is coming out of this smelling like a rose because of what I have mentioned previously. And I do think the one thing that will be delayed is perhaps institutions stepping back and just saying, okay, do we really understand this? And once they actually do the homework and see what's happened here, I think they might be more comfortable moving into Bitcoin and perhaps Ether as a first stop.